Hello, Mr. Barry's geometry class. This is March 22nd. This is, I think, these were notes in your class. I'm not sure, but I also have the assignment coming up right behind this. So I'm doing everything that he put out today for the dilations, and it's due tomorrow. When we're looking at the letter K, what the letter K means, it's just the scale factor. So the scale factor, they just use the letter K for you to determine what the scale factor is. So I'm only going to graph a couple of these as I go through because graphing just takes a real long time. But when you're just taking these coordinates and you have a scale factor of K for number 1, all you're going to do is multiply each of these values by 2. So in order to get the new R coordinate, when you're taking this triangle at these vertices and you are dilating it by a scale factor of 2, you just multiply each of these by 2. So you'll get negative 10 and 2, negative 6 and 8, and 2 and negative 1. Multiply both those by 2, you get 4, negative 2. So let me show you about graphing. And I don't want to show each one because this would be an hour-long video. So I have negative 5, 1. So I'm going to go negative 5, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back on the x, up 1. So there's negative 5, 1. And then I'm going to have negative 3, 4. Negative 3, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2, negative 1. So I'm going to go 2, 1, 2. This is positive. Going down to 1. Okay, so I have this is my triangle, right? So my new triangle, scale factor of 2, is going to be negative 10. So if this was 5, I'm going to go back. Remember, this is the x coordinate. This is x axis, I should say, y axis. Okay, so negative 10, 2. So if this was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then it goes up to 1, 2. So that point is there. Do this one in green. And then negative 6, 8. So negative 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to go up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one ends up 4, negative 2. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 2, 1, 2. So it ends up looking like this. So you just scaled this up by a factor of 2. Okay? I'm not going to go, and do that each one. It takes forever. Okay, but you do that. Please do. Plot these points, and then you're going to multiply each coordinate by a half. So actually, this one's going to be shrinking. So anything that's, a fraction, that's a fraction that's less than 1, it's actually going to, be smaller. If it's a fraction that is more than 1 or a number that's more than 1, it's going to get bigger. So this one gets smaller, and so you just multiply each of these by a half, and here's what you should be getting. That's a negative 1 there. Scale factor for this one, this fraction is more than 1. 1 would be 2 over 2. So this is 5 over 2. So actually this one is getting bigger. You still end up with 0, 0 here. But then, you multiply by 5 halves. And these are the numbers that you get for each of these coordinates. Okay, the way that I did number 7 and problems like number 7 is I first had to figure out what these points were, what the coordinates were. Figured those out. And then I'm going to multiply these by 2 for the scale factor of 2 on this one. And then you just have all those new points that you would plot, just like you did in number 1. Same thing in number 9. Number 9, I had to figure out QRST. And then multiply those by 3 halves, 3 over 2. And so that's what I end up getting when I multiply by 3/2. That is negative 1 1/2. This is 1 1/2. In case you can't read those, my pencil lead is awfully wide. And then how do you do a problem like number 11? Well, I list first my original DEF, and then my second DEF, that's inside smaller. So I know it's going to be less than 1. I know it's going to be fraction. And then my fraction is just like if you take, it goes from 6 goes to 2. So like, 2/6 breaks down to 1/3. 2/6 I can simplify, into 1/3. I can simplify all of these, 2/6. I went from this to this, so it got smaller. So my new, fraction that I'm going to use is from my point that I created and I go this way. You got to understand that this was bigger and then my new one is smaller. The little hash marks means the new one, right? This is the new one, right? Those little hash marks. So it went from here to here. So it's got to be a fraction. It's got to be less than 1. Now, if it was backwards, if these had the little hash marks, then it would be 3. It would be this. How did I get to this? You could just take this divided by 2, 6 divided by 2, and you get 3. You get the scale factor of 3. Whenever you look at all these, what's the common thing that when you divide them, what do you get? Okay, that's if it was backwards. Okay. Now you had Unit 9, Homework 5 dilations, doing the same thing. And once again, you draw these, put these points in, and then you have the scale factor of 3. And let me do this one for you. So I want to do this one because notice how they shift. Look for the arrows. So this is my Y, and this is my X-axis, right? So you've got to make sure you understand they're shifting it so everything will fit. This is supposed to be a Y, and this is an X. Like I said, my pencil's kind of wide. All right, so I go -4, 1, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I go up 1 on the Y. And then I go -2, 1, 2, and I go 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I go 0, -2, 1, 2. And I go -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -2, 1, 2. So I have this quadrilateral looking thing. And then my new ones, all I do is multiply each one of these values by 3. And so -4 times 3 is -12. So I'm going to go -12. 1, so I start here, because this is the y-axis. This is my origin right here, right? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And what is it? 3. 1, 2, 3. So there's that new point. And then I'm going to go -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that's -6, 9. 0, -6. So 0, -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I go -15. If this is -12, this is -13, 14, 15, and -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is, it's scaled up by a factor of 3. Okay, looks just like it, and it's bigger by a factor of 3. Very good. Not going to do that for the other ones, because you could do that. I'm going to take this, and it's going to be a little bit smaller because I'm, fraction less than 1. 4/5 is less than 5/5. 5/5 is 1, so 4/5 is less than 1. So it's going to be a little bit smaller. So you plot these points, multiply each coordinate by the 4/5, and you should be getting those numbers. Number 5, this is going to be getting bigger. So if you plot those points, MNOP, and then get your new MNOP multiplying by 2. Make sure you're labeling, your MNOP as, the beginning MNOP and then the hash mark in MNOP, the one that is made bigger by this one, in fact, is made bigger. This one was smaller, but the one that was adjusted by the scale factor is what I'm trying to say. Number 7. So just like in the notes, I had to figure out what STU was. So I figured out STU was, the point for S. And remember, this is my y-axis. This is my x-axis. It's weird, but look for the arrows, okay? And then you have to do your counting. S was at 0, 1, T was at 3, 3, U was at 2, 1, okay? Then you multiply all these by 4. So this is going to be, made bigger, 4 times bigger. And you just multiply those and then just plot those points like I did in that number 1. This one, just like in the notes, once again, I had to figure out what my B, C, D, E was. Plot those points. And then take those points and multiply them by 1/3. So it's going to get smaller. Once you draw that in, put your B coordinate, C, D, E, it's going to be smaller than this one. And then number 11, I define the coordinates for both GHI, the small one, and then the one with the hash marks is the big one. So notice, it's different than the notes. The original gets bigger. So I could take, 4 divided by 1 gives me 4. 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. 12 divided by 3 gives me 4, and so on. 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. Negative 8. It's all telling me 4. So it's made bigger by a factor of 4, so that's my scale factor 4. Okay. Hopefully this helps. Good luck on the even ones. Go ahead and try them on your own and learn from any mistakes that you might make.